Let's see. Kai is founder and CEO of Kompass BMS. He's a second generation surveyor who held a leveling staff for as long as he could remember. With a master's in surveying and an MBA, he has worked in senior management positions in the surveying sector for the last 20 years. In 2010, he joined a relatively small company called Murphy Geospatial in London. And as the managing director, Kai helped grow this company from 9 staff to over 180. At the time, the company was struggling to find software that was effectively helps to manage the business. Lots of options were too big or too complex or too awkward to use. So Kai developed his own custom system, which has now resulted in Kompass BMS, a business management system. In 2020, Kompass BMS was separated from Murphy Geospatial, and it's turned into its own independent company in which Kai is the leading Kompass full time. So I've always started, since I've been doing the Mentoring Mondays over the last few years, we always kind of start the first month of the year with either business topics or safety topics, that kind of stuff, just to kind of get everybody in the mood with maybe new softwares and new processes and being more organized, right? That's kind of one of my big things I've been doing with mentoring in January. So today, Kompass, I get to meet Kai over the last couple of different where we made Hexagon Live and Trimble and a couple of different places. So
GeoWeek.
Yeah, GeoWeek, and of course being friends with Elaine Ball, that we've started a good conversation. So I asked Kai to jump on, and we've done a couple other project management softwares already. And so I'd like to run through Kompass so everybody sees all the available options, whether it was Q-Factor or Cyanic or Kompass or any of them. So one of them fits you better than one of the others. So I will turn it over to you, and we'll just kind of chit chat. So
yeah, great. Well,
thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me, Trent. And so we're probably a little bit still the new kid on the block here. People in the US probably don't know us very much, even though the software has been in use and development over 10 years now, and it's proven itself. So it's great to be able to present Kompass. And I'm a surveyor myself, and I co-owned surveying company and grew it into one of the biggest surveying companies in the UK. And like many other surveying companies, we encountered a lot of issues in managing the growth of a company and having it efficient to organize, that you don't spend all day filling out timesheets or copying data between different systems. And this is really how Kompass came about. So it's very much a system that comes from surveyors. It's been driven by a surveying company that was growing, rather than from a more software perspective, where maybe somebody who's worked in software wanted to develop software for a sector. Today I'm planning to, I'll just give a very, very brief presentation here, and then we will actually jump into the system, and I'll show you the system, and there will be opportunities as well to ask any questions. You can obviously also reach me either on the website or on my email address here. Okay, cool. So let's quickly jump in. One of our slides showing just running a business. When you start out, it's all great because you have a lot of different software applications that you can use, a lot of them free as well, or very, very low cost and so on. But the more you grow and the older the company gets, the more issues really are created, that you have data in many different silos often, and it doesn't really talk to each other. You have to enter client data in multiple times, and you have typos that come in, and people spend 2 or 3 hours a week just filling out timesheets and stuff like that. It's when you're smaller, these things don't have as much as a negative impact, but it really scales with the project. And in my experience, particularly once you're around the 20 or 30 mark, companies are trying to look for something. And when I was at Murphy Geospatial, we had an old custom software that was very awkward to use. I once counted that to schedule one task for somebody to do, I had to do 19 clicks. And every click, the page would reload. It was a web-based system, and it just took forever. It was driving me insane. We were still quite small, so I was kind of doing most of the stuff and looking after keeping people busy and all that. So that was one of the reasons. Around 12 years ago, we decided to develop our own software and really focus on making it easy to use and fitting for our industry. I have a little bit of a software background as well. Even though I studied surveying, I was always interested in the whole software and software development side of things. So why Kompass? Kompass really tries to cover the business processes of a surveying company. So that means you have the whole side of proposal management, inquiries, you have the projects and tasks, scheduling crews, scheduling equipment, always a major issue for many surveying companies. Who's doing what, who has what total station and things like that. HR functions such as what qualifications do people have, and do they need recertification and things like that, and naturally the whole finance side of things. Now I have to make clear here that Kompass is not an accounting software, which is also a benefit because it's actually easier to use than many of the accounting softwares that are out there, but it integrates with accounting software. So your accountant or finance manager or whatever, they will still be happy because all their data, how they need it, is available, while Kompass really focuses on making the processes easy and efficient, and try to for people to get their business stuff done as quickly as possible so that they can go out into the field again and earn money for the company. There's a big focus on trying to keep processes as intuitive and easy to use as possible. What this means on the flip side is that Kompass doesn't always have every single feature in the world. I once had a comment of somebody who said really liked our system, and they liked in a positive sense how simple it was, because you don't have this, that you have an interface where you don't even know where to click first, and your project managers need a week or 2 weeks of training to really get up to speed with how they create tasks and how they assign people and so on. It's a lot of our customers who come on board, they are up to speed and up and running very quickly. Then naturally, it's very industry specific. At the moment, we really focus on the surveying sector because that's what I know. I know how companies grow in the sector, and it's always very fascinating to see how similar the challenges of surveying companies are all over the world. So we have clients in the US, in Canada, in Ireland, in the UK, and so on. But I also talk with surveying companies from many other countries, including, let's say, Australia and New Zealand. And they all struggle with the same issues. It's very, very similar. And a lot of systems that are out there are not industry specific. So if you have your Monday.com, or if you have something that is more from the engineering side, it just doesn't fit as well our workflows. Or you might have something that is very much project management focused, like MS Project or something like that. That doesn't really fit. Like even though surveying companies work with like project based, a lot of the project management is very much operations focused rather than these large projects where you have your critical paths and you need to assign all your resources and things like that. Then, even though we're not very well known in the US so far, we have been in use for over 10 years. Now, I need to admit, for around like 7.5 years, this was mainly Murphy Geospatial, who are now one of the largest surveying companies in Europe. They have nearly 400 employees and are a pure geospatial surveying companies. But overall, we had over 2,000 users who are using it, and we have nearly 1,000 users every week who are actively using the system. And the last point I want to stress is that we make onboarding easy. It's always a challenge for companies to bring all the data into these new systems. And we make it very easy that they normally just dump all the data on us, and we will take care of it, get it onto Kompass, configure it so that it works for the Kompass customer, so that it can be up and running as quickly as possible. Generally, we say that the onboarding takes between 4 to 6 weeks. Depends a lot on the data that you have and how clean the data is, and how many years you've been in service and things like that. But it's a good general guide for that. Some we had people come on board within a week, and we had others that needed 8 months to get on board. Okay, so this is a general overview of Kompass and why we developed Kompass and why we think this is a good system. I am planning now to jump into a demo of Kompass, into our demo site, and show you around there. We will broadly cover these 5 different areas and go through it. It very, very loosely follows how you would also see inquiry running through the system right through to the final invoicing. I won't go into as much detail as I would normally do with demos, but we will, in between each of these items, we will have the opportunity to answer a couple of questions. Demo normally takes around 45 minutes. So I think, Trent, hopefully we should be around an hour or something like that with.
Oh yeah, you're totally fine. Yep.
Yeah. Are there any questions before I jump into the demo?
I was gonna see if we just threw in the chat how many are business owners, how many want to be business owners, just a feel for kind of who was watching today. I know some are just PMs as well, so maybe it's something they can take back to their office. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, that would be very, very useful to know. Yeah.
You just throw it in the chat and then you can.
Yeah. I might continue, Trent. Yeah.
Yep. Good to go.
I'll pick up with him.
Yep. You're good.
When it comes out. Okay. Cool. Oops. Sorry. Let me move this off. There we go. All right. Okay. Your survey manager small for info share with the boss. Yeah. Well, that should be fitting.
Right. Perfect.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. So this is our demo system. where, sorry, I'm just trying to organize my screens here a bit better. Yes, so this is our demo system. It's fully web-based, cloud-based, and so on, Kompass. So it's not a desktop software. You can use it on your phones and so on. When you log into the system, just very briefly, you have like a global search up here, like many other systems have as well, where you can search for projects or clients or contacts or whatever. And then we have generally the functionality on the navigation bar here on the left-hand side, grouped by sales, operations, base functions, then finance-based functions, and generally company or HR related stuff. Yeah, this is our demo system. So the values are all not fully randomized. It comes from production system where it has been anonymized and the values been slightly changed. But this is also why some of the names are a little bit weird. So just ignore that. On the dashboard, Kompass fully permission space, so you can set up who can see what. This is our standard that we have for managers or business owners and so on, to have an insight in the financials. But in general, obviously for surveyors and operatives on site, they wouldn't see any financial data. Then we have key performance indicators up here that just give you a quick snapshot of the last 4 weeks, how that is going. Then proposals to submit. So these are inquiries that have come in and they haven't been submitted to clients yet. Very useful to stay on top of your inquiries, not to forget about any proposals that need to be submitted. Proposals to chase. So these have been submitted to clients, and when you record that in Kompass, you need to put in a date when you expect the client to make a decision. And again, it just helps you to stay on top of those proposals you've submitted. And I'm always a little bit surprised when I talk to some potential clients that this is actually an issue that some surveying companies have. They submit proposals and forget all about it. And then when they rediscover it again, it's already gone to somebody else. Then here we have the charts. This is a favorite of many of the business owners, particularly, or also managers of the company. You can choose different categories here, and proposals or one proposals right through to the payments that have been allocated. So on the one proposals, if I hover over here, you see it's being broken out by different departments. So it gives you a very nice and easy to use snapshot of your order level at the moment, and if there are any issues happening, any projects did they do better than others. You could also break it out by the estimators or proposal writers. So see who brought in the most orders. Can be very, very useful to just keep an eye on who's sending and winning proposals for you. And there are different parameters that you could break it out. Then we have here the hit rate. So this is how successful your proposals are, how many proposals you're winning compared to win and loss, the total of that. We're here around let's say the average is actually around the 35% mark. So this is a running 6-month average. This is for the whole company, but again, you could break it out. Yeah, let's say by the proposal writers. Looks a little bit busy here because quite a lot of people have written proposals here, but it gives you a good ability to dig into the data and see like who's maybe struggling down here with their proposals, or who's maybe winning too much, a little bit suspicious. Maybe they are underpricing slightly and things. So yeah, you can also break it out by the same categories as you saw with the opportunities. On-time delivery. Now this is more of an operational performance indicator, and it just tells you how well you are at delivering your projects on or before a project deadline. Naturally, you want this to be as close to 100% as possible to keep your clients happy. Normally, this is a little bit closer to 100%, but we're randomizing the dates a little bit here in the system to show it like this. And again, you could break it out, let's say, yeah, by the departments, to see, do you have any departments that are struggling to deliver their projects on time? And then you could dig into that and have a look at that. And then billable hours. Now, we're all very well aware billable hours is what it mostly comes down to in our sector. And this is information that comes directly from the timesheet recording on the system. So it would update immediately on here when somebody records their timesheets, for example. Well, immediately once you refresh the page, I mean. And again, you have the ability to dig down here and see which departments have the most billable hours in a month. Or let's say we want to have it by project managers. So which project managers have the most billable hours? It gives you a very good idea about how your month will be in terms of revenues. And when I was at Murphy Geospatial, I always knew, let's say we need 6,000 hours a month, and then we'll be fine. So you can really keep an eye on the billable hours and how they are recorded. Down here, then we have organizations or clients, that is. So which organization gave you the biggest orders in the last 12 months? Nice juicy orders here that they received. Or you also have the time off requests. So if an employee requests time off, their manager will get an email with it, and it will also appear on the dashboard to approve it or not approve it. You have a general overview on here, but I'll show you the time off on the schedule as well, how it appears on the schedule. The dashboard can be filtered, and this is particularly for the different charts. So let's say digital construction here. So then they could dig into just for digital construction. So who brought in the most orders, for example, or which manager invoiced the most. Oh, only two with very similar colors. Or the hit rate. So this is very much filtered now for that one department. You can do all different combinations on here. Yeah, so this is the dashboard. Before I move on to sales, are there any questions?
Looks good. I love the colors. Obviously, it makes it good and clean and pop, and it's
it does help. Yeah, it does help a lot, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This one, obviously a big multidiscipline firm, so I would be curious when you get down to just like engineering and survey firms, you know, that kind of stuff, what the datas look like. But no, we've been chatting about it the last couple of years, so I like I do love the product.
Yeah, like it's just the dashboard is really good because it's a fully integrated system. You have all the data flowing into it together. You don't need to ask your accounting department to give you the list of invoices and then do some Excel magic on it and so on.
And the other one that's important from a PM standpoint was the time offs and just being able to, and that's one of the things that, you know, which we've talked about before. I run the Q factor, but just being able to see the time off sheet right in front of you, that bottom right corner is that's an amazing tool. So to see who's available, who's working, who's, you know, that kind of stuff. So that's always a question.
Yeah, because often companies just have this on the wall in the office, on the calendar or something like that.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And it can create problems.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to the sales functions then. Now, I don't want to spend too much time here on the organizations and contacts because it's pretty standard functionality that you also have on other systems where you have general information about the client and contacts that are associated with it, projects and proposals. You also see a general win rate of the clients, quite useful if you have somebody who's just always asking you for quotes but never giving you projects. That can be very annoying, and it really helps to tease that out of the system. One thing I'd like to talk about is down here, the comments. So you have the ability to leave comments. Let's say we say project starting soon, but crucially you can tag other people in here. So let's say we want to tag Austin. You can attach files as well. And if I save this, it would now send notification to Austin with a comment. We have some clients that use this functionality very heavily. So this is not just on the clients, this is on contacts and proposals, proposal items, tasks. It's on many different objects or functions on Kompass. And one of the advantages of using this rather than only comments, for example, is that you have the data still together. So if somebody else comes in here, they can see, okay, this happened and this person was involved and so on. Some of our clients don't really care about this functionality, and for others, it's crucial for running the business. The contact side of things, again, is very standard functionality, just recording the contact information, proposals, and so on. So I won't talk too much about this. Then going to the proposals. So proposals run through different stages. They not that many actually. They start out as an inquiry, so they're waiting to be submitted to a client, and then they go into the open phase once they have been submitted, and then they're either won or lost. Now, what is very nice is that we have a map display here, so we can see all our inquiries at the moment. There's full Google Maps behind it, so I can switch here to aerial view, for example, and have a look into here, or you can drag in your street view and have a look at it. It can be very, very useful. And there's a full GIS behind it. So this is not just points where you just have the coordinates of the points. Full GIS behind it. And it also means, let me see if I can find an example here. You don't just have you don't just have point elements, you can also have polygons. So I'll show in a moment when you go into the proposals how to create them, because it's a key functionality to, for example, communicate to your surveyors, survey crews, what needs to be done, what area needs to be surveyed. Often, as you know, it can be a discussion point. So what was actually quoted for? And we have different information here. Okay, so if I jump into let's actually go here to to the open ones, and we jump. No, I had recorded the one that I wanted. No, didn't find it now. Okay, I'll jump into one of the proposals. You have a general overview up here, how the proposal is developing, general information about it. Here's this map display. So what you also see here, you have your previous projects are showing here. So we have a few here that have been finished over more than 3 years ago. We have some active ones here, some that have been finished within the last 12 months. So again, very, very useful information when you do your quote. I can go into edit mode here and do some drawing here. Well, sorry, and into here. Don't want too much. And yeah, you can draw your polygons here and mark out, let's say, the area that needs to be surveyed. You can do as many as you like. It will all be associated to that project, or you could just put in a marker or something like that. And that can really be used. This can be exported as KML or files, so you can use it in Google Earth, for example, or you can also upload KMZ files or KML files if you have, let's say you want to prepare it in Google Earth or something else, or ArcGIS or whatever, or a client has sent you some data, you can upload the data onto here. Very, very useful functionality. Down here, you have general information about proposal, like when inquiries were received and when they should be submitted, things like that. Then we have the sales proposal items. Let me actually jump to that project that I wanted to show, because we have a few more there. Yeah, so here we have 3 proposal items or scope items, if you prefer that. So what needs to be done here? You can do clever things like grouping things. You can do fixed price items like this, for example, or rate or time material items. So all the different kind of combinations that are usual in our business. I go on here. You see you have general description of what needs to be done here. You have here what resources you need, what staff resources, what equipment you need, and so on. And then down here you define your how much you want to charge for it. So you could very easily say, well, we want to actually need 3 days in the field, and maybe we need somebody else on there to help out just for 2 days, and I don't know, maybe they should help us for a day in the office and things like that. So it's very easy to build this up. Plus you have the ability to save something like this as a template and then load it back into the system from the template. So again, the aim here is to make it as quick as possible for you, that you don't spend, like what we really don't want is that you spend all your time just creating the same things again and again. It should be as quick as possible. So this is how you build up your different proposal items. And here we have the document dropdown. So this can be as many documents as you like. There's a Word templating engine behind it. So you create your templates in Word. And if I create, for example, a proposal here, you can download it as Word document as well. And this really can look in any way you like. There's very little limitation here because it is a Word template, and you have programming functionality in there then, where normally we at least at the start, we need to help clients how to set this all up. But we have clients who do this all by themselves now, and it pulls in all the information from your proposal. So naturally, obviously, who it's for, the client, and so on, general description. Then here we have the different scope items, lots of nonsense text that was generated here. And you can really build this out, have your signature in there, and things like that. And this is not just limited to, let's say here, the proposal quotation. You could have like a project handover document. Some of our clients use that. Once the proposal has been accepted, to just have some kind of handover document where a lot of stuff is pre-filled. So most of them, they would download this as a Word document and then add additional details and things like that. Very powerful system. Makes it also very, very easy to standardize how you're sending the proposals to clients, and ensuring that you don't have different people sending different documents and it looks different here and there and different conditions in there. It can be very much be streamlined. Then once a proposal has been submitted to a client and the client says, okay, I want to go ahead with it, you then can accept one or more of the proposal items. So not all of them need to be accepted. It could be that you, for example, quoted for some additional stuff and so on, but the client says, well, I don't really want the UAV survey at this stage, but maybe later. So it will travel with your project, those proposal items, but they will just be there as unaccepted proposal items. But if I accept this now, this will turn it into a project, and then we go onto the project side. Yes, so this shows off the proposals and proposals management. Before I move on to the operations side of things, have we got any questions on this?
What about you talked about creating from a signature standpoint? Are you using like a hello sign or DocuSigns or anything like that? Like how?
No,
okay.
Yeah, no, that is on our roadmap.
Yep.
At the moment, to have some digital online signing of documents as well. At the moment, the signature is mainly just pulling in a signature that the user has uploaded. So signature of the proposal writer, really.
Okay.
How they send that. Yeah.
Love it. Anybody else? Questions on that? Moving on.
Everyone quiet.
It's a quiet group. I forgot to mention earlier, but Kai is over in London, so it's 11:42 at night, which is why we ran this at 3 o'clock today. So I forgot to say that earlier, but thanks for staying up late.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the operations side. So here we have our projects list. So these are the accepted proposals. If you want, at least one of the proposal items have been accepted. These are all our active projects at the moment. And as you can see, you have information about the hours, for example, how many hours are planned, how many hours have been booked already in the timesheets. So you have an immediate overview of where you are on the projects in terms of hours used so far. Active projects run through different phases here. So you will all recognize them, like it starts with field phase and then the office and processing. And some clients use and some clients don't, like a final quality check and then delivery. Once a project has been delivered, it goes into this into the finished phase. And there we have sub-phases of invoice, so it's waiting to be invoiced. Unpaid means, yeah, it has been invoiced but not paid yet, and then paid to close off the project. Again, we have a map display on here. So you have all your active projects on there, and you see here we have some polygons there as well. Essentially the same functionality as we have on the proposals with all the power behind it. And again, it makes it very visual and very can be very useful. Let's say you have a crew at the site and they don't get site access, something like that, to see what's the nearest project that they could go to. Then if I jump, sorry, what you have here as well is the project status. So this is where you can record how much has been completed of the different proposal items. We have here, these are all, yeah, okay. They're all at 0 at the moment, but you could say, let's say, only have go ahead on Friday, but anyway, let's say we've finished this already. Oh, that was the zero number. We finished this, and this is a rate item, so a time material item. We've done two of those, and this builds up the evaluation of the project. And you see now it's at 10%, and this is then also used for the invoicing side of things, where that value comes through, and whoever's doing the invoicing knows how much we have outstanding, how much can be invoiced. If I jump into the project, it's very similar in terms of the setup here to the proposal. We have a general progress bar that is slightly different here because we're now in a project rather than proposal. That gives you a good snapshot of where the project is at the moment. The remainder is very similar, except that naturally, like the operations side of things here, so you can assign who's leading in the field. You can leave notes with it when things have been completed to make it easier to manage it and to record any work you did on here. We have here on the proposal items, you see which ones have been accepted. This one, for example, hasn't been accepted. It was an optional one anyway. And you have the hours budget per proposal item here as well. So you see very clearly how much hours you have available for that and how many hours have been booked against it. And then here on the operation side, you have the tasks and timesheets. Let me actually get a project where we have some tasks and timesheets. Would make more sense. Yeah. So here we have tasks that have been assigned to it, and some timesheets that have been booked already. But go on here, you see general information about when the task should start and then who's assigned to it, and so on. But I'll show you that in a moment on the schedule again, because that's slightly more visual and slightly easier to use, really. The key point really here is, though, that your project manager has full control of the project. They see what timesheets have been booked on it. They see here on the finance tab what invoices have been raised against the project, also payments, recorded expenses, and so on. They can approve the timesheets in here, which will lock them down, and things like that. If I go into the schedule, so this is the schedule where you see all the different tasks that people have assigned to them. What you also see down here is the time off that has been booked, so you can very clearly see who's available. And if I go into edit mode, you see it's very easy to reschedule people. You have like a quick edit on here. So we take them on, but put Amber on here. So you see, yeah, Amber is scheduled. And when they're scheduled like this, they're scheduled together. So if I move this, the task stays together for both people. Or we can say we need maybe another day. It makes it very quick, very easy to deal. Like in our sector, you often have the requirement to change the schedule around, you know,
by the hour.
by the hour, yeah, exactly. So it really is important that you know, so who's doing what and who's available. So you have this available here. This is for those people who who should have a task assigned to them. They're billable people. Well, if you don't have the available, it means that they can get a task assigned, but they're not billable. So it's not necessarily crucial that they have a task assigned.
I see a filter button up there, so you could obviously filter by personnel or.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So you can filter it quite nicely on here. Let's say we just want the digital engineering people and projects on here. Yep. So this has filtered it now, and you could also then very easily save that filter. So I save that filter now. And now I have it here in the drop down. So I can very easily switch between the different views. Makes it very, very straightforward, very, very quick. And as you can see here, you can do lots of different combinations that you can work with.
That is cool. Yeah, because you could assign just CAD techs or PMs or
that's right.
crew chiefs or whatever and see what the look ahead schedule is. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
That's
a good
it. Yeah.
That's a great calendar view. Yep.
We have then here also show done tasks. So you can people can mark tasks done for themselves. If I click this off, it just helps, particularly if you have people in the office who are just doing processing. They might have a lot of tasks. I don't have an example here now, but they might have a lot of tasks assigned to them for one day. And like here, for example, and they can mark them done, which will really help to keep on track with what they should do. You can add the task directly on here. So let's say this shows all our active projects. And when it says pending here, it means that tasks have been created already, but they haven't been assigned to anybody. So this can be very useful. You don't need it. Like I could still go in here and create a new task, but let's take one of those pending tasks here. The key point here is we don't have any times assigned yet, and maybe I assign this to Alexandra for today, and there it is. So very, very easy to assign that. And if I go on to the project and the tasks, you see this is the task I've just assigned to Alexandra. What is a crucial bit here now is that when Alexandra goes to her timesheets, her timesheet will already be pre-filled with the project and the task. So this solves a lot of these issues of people having to go into a timesheet software where they need to select the project and select the task, record the hours, record it on the wrong task. Somebody in the office has to correct it, and back and forth. And sooner or later, I've encountered quite a few companies that employ people whose full-time job is correcting timesheets. So this really helps because the project manager has already assigned it to somebody and it's pre-filled, and it helps obviously your surveyors as well, because all they need to do is enter the hours, put in a description, and that's it. You know, it's very easy, very quick to record your timesheets, which means I saw in your previous sessions, Trent, there's often a question coming up about timesheets and if you should record them weekly or more often or whatever. People on Kompass often do it on the same day because it's a 20-second job instead of Monday morning sitting down 2 hours going through all their timesheets for a previous week and trying to sort that out.
So on that, while we're on the timesheeting, is there a built-in software? So like here, at least at my company, we use T-Sheets. So it's kind of an online, it's an app on the phone or, that kind of stuff. Is there online tracking or any kind of timesheet software associated with Kompass, or would we still use basically an outside service for it?
So we've had a few Kompass customers who used to use T-Sheets.
Yeah.
And stopped using it and used Kompass instead.
Okay.
Because you can get all the data then also for your payroll and things like that, but yeah, so far we haven't really had the need to integrate with something like that.
Okay.
But it could theoretically be possible. Yeah.
No worries.
Okay, cool. Going back to the schedule. So this is all about the task, but a lot of companies also struggle managing the equipment. So this is where the schedule for the equipment comes in. If I enable all categories here, you'll see it's very full because our demo company here uses it quite a lot. But let's say I just want to see our laser scanners. One of those issues that companies have, particularly with higher value equipment, that people might not really know where it is at the moment. And again, assigning equipment to different people is about as easy as it gets. You can just do drag and drop of it, or you can put it into the office. So now you have it down here in the office, and know what is available at the moment and what can we assign. Same obviously for, let's say, your trucks and so on. What is also very useful here naturally is that you can go back, come back 6 months and have a look and see who used this total station. And it's very useful then if, let's say, you have an issue on site and the client says, well, what equipment did you actually use, or who used it, and so on, that you can look that all up. Let me just go, let's say, total station. If I go to one of them, you see there's quite a simple asset management in here. So you can record next calibration dates, for example, and your serial numbers, or general identifiers like a barcode, things like that. And when I go to the equipment list, you also have an overview of what has expired, which equipment has expired or is soon expiring. As you know, this is important in our business to stay on top of calibrations and stuff like that. This makes it super easy, and if somebody obviously uses it, but it's so in your face as well. And if you have somebody assigned who's looking after your equipment, it makes it very, very straightforward to work with it. Okay, and this kind of finishes off the operations side of things. Before I move on to the finance side, any questions?
That is cool. I do like I like that as an inventory because typically our inventory sheets are still just on a spreadsheet, right, by the crew, and hand them to them and they got to hand fill them out and that kind of stuff. So having this, that's pretty cool, at least.
And it's really, because I still remember the time when we didn't have this functionality in Kompass, and we had these Excel files, and updating them was so cumbersome to update them, and then they would be out of date, and it would be quite a nightmare, to be honest.
And and it makes it quick and easy too. Like we've had a total station stolen right off of the street corner, and you're like, oh crap, what serial number is his, right? So you can file a claim and do all that kind of stuff. So having this quickly at your fingertips is awesome.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the finance side. I'll start with the invoices, but I will actually start with the invoices from the project itself. Let's say this project. We're here on the finance tab of the project. What you see down here is the valuation. So this comes from the project status, the valuation, where the project manager said we had, you might remember, I entered those 50% or something like that. That was completed. So at the moment, they say, $2,000 has been completed. And we haven't invoiced anything. So we have our work in progress is at 2,000. And raising an invoice is very straightforward. You go in there, it will pull in all the different proposal items that you have, the accepted ones that you have on the project, and you have the information on here about that recorded status value, how much has been invoiced, how much remaining. So you could now very easily invoice that 2,000 for that project. Or you could just say, well, we don't want to invoice full value, maybe just 1,000 or something like this. This is normally where the integration with the accounting system kicks in. So if you have a full online synchronization, let's say like QuickBooks Online, we have a synchronization with, it would then take this invoice, go to QuickBooks Online, create the invoice there. If the client doesn't exist and the project doesn't exist, it will create that first. And you have all the info then, first of all, in Kompass, but also in your accounting system. Makes it very, very straightforward, very easy also to raise the invoice. There's not as much back and forth that the accounts department, for example, has to ask each individual project manager. So how much have we finished on this project and so on, because they've recorded it already on Kompass.
So with that, you say QuickBooks Online. What about QuickBooks Desktop?
So QuickBooks Desktop, as the name implies, is not an online version. So Kompass doesn't have ability at the moment. You can use proxy software and all that stuff, but we don't do that yet. But you can from Kompass, you can export all the data into CSV files and Excel files and stuff. We make it very easy to get the data out. And quite a few clients, that's what they use. So they export the data, they have pre-prepared templates where they throw it in, and then they upload it to QuickBooks Desktop or some of the other software that is out there, Sage 50, for example. We have one client.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's not it's not a deal breaker if you don't run QuickBooks Online. You can still get it back and forth. It just makes it a lot simpler. Makes it a lot simpler.
It makes it super simple.
Yeah.
If you have something like QuickBooks Online, but if you don't, you can still do it. And for many companies, there's not much of a difference then, because they've been doing something similar anyway, or they might have raised the invoice in QuickBooks Desktop, for example, separately before anyway. So we have some clients who don't use the invoicing functionality on here, but you lose a lot of possibility then with your work in progress calculation. You need that information. on there, you know.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is the invoices module here at the moment. Kompass really focuses so far mostly on the operations and sales side of things to make that as easy and as streamlined as possible, and delegates quite a lot to the accounting software. But it has a lot of information about the invoices that you raise on here, and let's say any payments that have been recorded against the invoices. I think we have not many payments on here, just one of the payments where you record your payments on there, you assign it to invoices allocated. Very, very straightforward way of doing things, and you have that information then also on the invoice, like what payments have been allocated. The advantage really is that you have all your information again on Kompass. So you have all the data together. It all fits together. It's clean together. You can export it. You can put it into Excel or Power BI or something like that, and do additional analysis in there. Then we have the expenses on here. So expenses are direct project expenses, employee reimbursements and things like that. It runs through through an approval workflow here. So people, like including surveys, again, it's all permission space, so you can decide who can do what. But surveys can submit their expenses as well. Somebody else can check it, and then again, somebody else can approve it or reject it, and attach receipts to it, allocated to projects and tasks or proposal items and things like that. We have it on the list to also integrate with some of the existing expense apps that are out there. So that should be coming. That should be coming this year. But you can also import your, let's say, your credit card statements into the system and make it easier to assign it then to people. Okay, that's on the finance thing. Before I move on to the last bit, shouldn't be very long now. Any questions here? No?
Answered mine.
Cool. Let's move on then. So time off. So pay time off, sick time, and all that stuff is recorded on here. You people create requests on here, and then the manager will get an email. They can approve it or not approve it. We also have accrual calculations in here. So your staff has an idea of what's still available to them. Solves a lot of this back and forth of like how much have I left, and how did you calculate that, and why doesn't this work, and so on. Because it's all on the system, it's transparent for it, and this is also then where it appears on the dashboard with the time off and on the schedule. And then the last bit I wanted to show is the employee directory. So you have general information about the employees, general contact information, and so on. But most importantly, you have also their qualifications and when they expire and all that stuff. So to stay on your health and safety certs and all that, if you do rail work and so on, makes it much easier. Let's say we just want to see the ones that are expired or soon expiring. If you have somebody who looks after it, they can really stay on top of it and can make sure that the trainings, the recertifications are scheduled early enough, and all these things. And we have a dark mode as well for those people who love the dark mode, which
Oh,
is
there
me
you go.
sometimes as well. Most important part.
Can you go back to the time off screen?
Yep. Yep.
Hey, Josh, you see this? Josh says he hasn't taken a vacation since 2016. So I was just trying to show him, what a vacation is supposed to look like if you request time off, Don't forget how to
Yeah,
use
this data is also from Europe, so yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of days off in there.
They take a lot more days off. Yeah.
It's a month at a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I had to pick on you there, Josh.
I earned it.
I love it.
Okay, cool. And
That
this
is cool.
really brings me to the end. Just to recap, so Kompass really tries to cover your main business processes that you need in a surveying company. Try to make it easy, make it straightforward for you to do what you need to do for the business, so you can actually get back to getting your work done and you're not wasting any time on the system. And yeah, I would be very happy to naturally show people demos and so on. I'll put my contact details up in the moment. Before I move off the demo screen, any questions, anything I haven't covered that people would like to ask?
I would imagine, and of course, here it is beginning of 24. So, somebody watching a video years down the road may not be the same pricing, but if there's just kind of a generalized, cost per user type of thing that he's been getting over the flu, so he coughs there. But
Yeah.
just a kind of a broad overview, right? Like if it's $60 a person today, or something along those lines. But
no,
not going to pin down, but
yeah, not that high. So we are normally under $50 a user, and we have tiers as well. It depends a little bit on the company, but yeah, like no, we're generally also surveyors. So surveyors normally have a lower tier, which we call light users, and they don't pay that much because they don't need that much.
Yeah, it's not as powerful. They don't need all the tools and that kind of stuff. But
yeah, exactly.
Or is data hungry, I would imagine, right? So yeah.
No, exactly. But because it's all permissions based, it's very easy to upgrade them very quickly to see financial data and so on.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It's super powerful. I know I've seen a couple of the demos with you, and it's a powerful machine. You've done an amazing job with it. So
yeah, thanks.
So
like it would be great to to show this maybe in more detail to anybody who's interested. I've put up my contact details here, and do it like this maybe. And well, I think Trent, I'll see you at Geo Week, right? Will you be there?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be at Geo Week. Yep.
We'll be there as well with the stand. So anybody who's coming to Geo Week, please come round. I should have put that on the slide actually. Come round and see me. I will be there.
Yep.
I'm very happy to talk about this. Also about surveying and survey business in general.
Yeah, that's amazing. You have the requested demo, which from in there, it gives you like a calendar, so you could schedule a time with you and everything. So Yep.
That's right. So just click that request the demo, or send me an email directly. That's great as well. And then we can
cool.
Do another demo.
I know, right?
Okay.
Well, at one point we got to 12. So hey, there was 12 interested in business this year. So it's good. It's all good.
Yeah.
We'll get there. For any of those that are on, I know a couple of you jumped on late. I will have this posted so you guys can kind of go back and watch it. Hopefully tomorrow, but worst case by Wednesday. So we'll get that there. But anybody have maybe some specific questions, or a question that you're looking forward that maybe you didn't quite catch at the beginning, and you can ask him? say I'm looking for something, will your product do this? Anybody?
No.
Josh, what do you, I know you're at a bigger firm. What kind of software you guys use?
None right now. We're actually, humorously enough, I'm gonna talk with Joab. Kai and Joab have been talking a couple times now from, I believe, Trimble Dimensions. He did a demo
Oh.
for us.
Okay.
And I was on with Joab, and essentially I'm gonna prompt him to reach out to you to get pricing so we can pull the trigger.
Nice.
I need a
Cool,
sanity
sounds
check
great.
on our accounting group because our accounting group's broke, and
Yeah.
I need some sort of sanity check on them
Awesome.
before I blow up the building.
You'd have to be there first.
Oh, I'll make a trip.
That's one of the pain points, right? Obviously, it's
Yeah,
like he says, it's the accounting. It's PM to accounting, and there's your pain
yeah,
point, right? And of course, the
yeah.
PM, and then it's accounting to payroll, right? Because we all gotta collect a check, and so if we're not invoicing, we're not collecting. If we're not collecting, we're not
Correct.
paying. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Very
major
important.
trickle down effect. But that is cool. I'm glad you already kind of been looking at it. It's
Yeah.
I love the product every time I see it. I've you guys have heard me talk about it. I've been with Q Factor for what 6 years now, so it's 5.5 years. So it's hard for me to kind of reintegrate at this point, but at some point,
Yeah, I keep
it may.
working on you, Trent.
Yeah, I know. You do an amazing job every time. Yeah, I know Fred will watch, so we'll tell Fred Compass can buy Fred, and then there you go.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, Fred, get in touch.
There you go. Fred, call Kai.
No, Q Factors it's good product as well.
Yeah.
Like it has some functions that
Yeah.
that we would like in Compass.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's obviously it's both ways. It's what I've known for so long, and so it's helped me get organized. And this one, obviously, Compass it's almost a whole nother kind of a step up in some of the functionalities. So we're QuickBooks Desktop, and I have a QuickBooks Desktop file that's 15 years old since the day I started the business, 15 and a half years old. So switching over to QuickBooks online would be interesting for me, but hey,
but seriously,
I'm sure it's
that
easy.
wouldn't be a requirement.
Yeah.
No,
I know, but yeah, no, it's fun. I love it. That's so much good stuff.
Great, excellent.
Anything else? Josh, did you get enough out of it to make your decision?
Yeah.
Honestly? All right, cool.
Yeah, it helped. I was hung up on, I'm very Deltek driven, and luckily we use Deltek, but I'm finding that our back end doesn't understand Deltek, so it's pretty pointless.
Yeah.
So something for the survey group to utilize with our 5 or 6 offices and locations. I like the concept that we can bring everybody in to one platform.
Yeah.
Versus everybody on an island right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, good. Great stuff. Thanks for staying up late. It's now 12:15.
No, it was great.
12:15 at night for you. So it's I
love
appreciate
talking
doing
about
that for us and everybody else. So anybody else got any questions? You got his QR code there. It takes you right to the website. So jump on there and schedule a demo, and hopefully we get organized for 2024. So we're off next week. It's MLK holiday, so we won't do anything next week, but we'll be back. Dr. Nettleman's coming back with another kind of get organized in 2024 conversation on January 22nd. So we'll be back. I love it. Thank you, Kai.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you in a few weeks.
Everyone.
All right. Bye, everybody.